Fucking Frankie's computer I turned on like 15, 20 minutes ago. It just barely is like
powering up now.
Yeah, it's like this shit sucks. It's all his porn. You think I'm playing, but I am playing.
Wait, does he really download porn?
He doesn't download it, but he visits some sketchy sites. I'm like, why are you going to sketchy sites? He goes, oh, because I don't like the videos all the time.
I've never understood why anyone goes to anywhere but Pornhub. Like, I don't think you could ever watch
videos.
Right, there's so many websites, but it's like, but any one of those websites has more videos than you could possibly ever watch. So I never understand like why.
Well, because like, well, you just gotta check them out though, because it'd be different. You know, there's
Some different
a difference.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like Pornhub's like the clean version of, you know, porn, I guess. Like more, yeah, I guess more.
There isn't the crazy shit.
Right, exactly. That shit, like, Pornhub's boring, basically, is what I'm getting at.
It is boring, honestly, though. Like, I don't know. I don't really care. Like, I look at porn the same way I look at like when you find a podcast that, and it's not like one where you're like, oh, I'm super interested in this, I'm gonna learn something, but it's just you put something on because you're like, I'm gonna do some dishes, and I need some noise in the background for like 10 minutes. Like, that's how I look at Pornhub, where it's not really the focus. It's just like, just distract me a little bit. That's it.
Right. Just help a little, I guess.
Yeah.
Move this along.
Exactly.
Bro, honestly. Never thought we'd be talking about porn on
that's
here.
That's the best opener we've ever had. Welcome to Tea with Chi. Y'all masturbate? Us too.
Being real candid today. Good morning. Anyway, so how have you been?
I've been good. How about you?
I've been all right. I've been in a lot of weird pain. The headaches have been strange.
Now, is this since the vaccine kind of a thing, or just random?
This became more random. I think this is like, I don't know. There might be something with like the right side of like my neck and back kind of thing, because there's a lot of the tension. It gets so bad that it gives me the headaches. I think like the muscle's just so tight, you know, and I could feel it like right here. This muscle underneath like my jaw is tight.
It's the worst.
And yeah, so it's just been really uncomfortable. I did some yoga yesterday to try to help it out, and it helped a little bit, but it's such a weird spot in my back that I don't know. I don't really know what to do with it aside from like going to like a chiropractor or something. But I'm gonna check on Groupon because that shit has really they have good deals, and like I'm gonna obviously like do my research on the place before I even go. So I'm just gonna get a Groupon for $30, and then, you know, it'd be some like shady ass place.
Yeah. No, I feel you. That kind of that same. I think it's connected to the sternocleidomastoid, but it's that muscle that go on your side of your neck that kind of runs up from your shoulders and your collarbone up to your jaw. I've had that same one's been strained for like coming up on a year now. I actually am having a massage tomorrow, so I'm excited. Hopefully that'll help. But I think I might need to go to a chiropractor and get it adjusted.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yoga and physical therapy's helped, but it's like, I mean, it's really been like a year now, so it's at a point where I'm like, I don't think, you know, strengthening of your back you can do. I think it's like I might need to be realigned before any of that can even work. But if a chiropractor
Yeah,
doesn't work, then shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like,
right, exactly. Like that would suck. But I'm sure like you could that would all get fixed once you see a chiropractor or something.
yeah, hopefully.
So yeah. So yeah. And work's been really busy. Like we picked up a lot. Everyone's, coming in and out of town now.
Hmm.
But I don't know if you've read up on it, but I think they're calling it the B117 variant of the COVID.
Is that the one from South Africa?
I think so. Or they found it like in the UK and stuff,
Uh huh.
mainly affecting younger children.
Uh huh.
And it's now like really emerging in the US because schools are back in session and everything.
Fuck.
But if you are vaccinated, then you have, some immunities against it. But it's it's also um brought up a lot of false negatives because something about the protein spike is totally different
Hmm.
than the original. So there's 17 different mutations within this one variant from the original.
Hmm.
So it's crazy. Like it's the original virus has mutated, so much that it's pretty much a different they said you could basically call this a different epidemic.
Jesus Christ.
Um or pandemic really because yeah, but if you're vaccinated then I mean it's all the more reason to get vaccinated against
Yeah, of
COVID, right?
course.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. I read about that I think
It's
last
like
night or
right
this
as we
morning.
think, like, oh, it's about to open up, and then watch it all
Yeah, I
just
mean,
completely
people get
restart.
too comfortable,
Yeah.
and what they're recommending is obviously getting vaccinated and following public health, recommendations and stuff. Um, which no one's doing, of course, but
No one's doing that. Everyone's just like, fuck it. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I guess a lot of people are getting vaccinated now. I've met a lot of people that are vaccinated. They all mention it to me, and it's like, okay, me too. But I don't say it. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I let them feel special about it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's true. So some guy came into the lobby yesterday, like without his mask on. We were dealing like with each other through the window, and now our lobby's kind of opened up, 4 people max at a time, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in, and he was like kind of reaching in his pocket, but he like walked halfway through before he put his mask on. I was like, "Do you have a mask with you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." He pulls it out, puts it on, and it's like, we still got to do that, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure your ass isn't vaccinated, sir.
That shit is so annoying. It's not hard to do. It's
No,
really not.
honestly, wearing a mask is not. And I mean, now I can be more comfortable that I don't have to wear my mask around someone that's also fully vaccinated, so that's kind of cool.
Sure.
But around everyone else, I always keep my mask on
Yeah, of
and stuff.
course.
Just also for the safety of others,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So because it's still possible for me to get COVID. So
Yeah, and it's still possible
and
to transmit it. Even if both
exactly
those things are reduced, reduced doesn't mean
not
that it's open
happening.
season. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's been interesting. It's been an interesting transition, I think. But I don't know, like the B117 or whatever. I just feel like this shit's gonna, and that's exactly what I was thinking. Like this stuff's just gonna mutate and mutate and mutate, and then what? Then what's gonna work? Is this gonna wipe us out? Like conspiracy time?
The end of days. Yeah. I guess at a certain point, um, they'll figure out they'll find a better vaccine, um, something that targets I know they do this with a lot of viruses where the head of and this is I'm probably butchering this, but that the head of the virus thing, like the little spermies, is different for each one, but then like the tail is always the same. So they find a way of creating a vaccine that targets the tail. So now it's like so then you have a vaccine that targets different strains of similar viruses. And I assume that they'll be trying to do something like that eventually. I don't know. Like, I know that's what they're trying to do with cancer.
Mm.
But that's been taking a while. So
They're like big pharma.
yeah,
Everyone goes off on that one. But what was I gonna say?
we all
But
gonna die.
yeah, we all gonna die. So I don't know. It's just a matter of time. Shit's crazy though. Yeah, I just think about how different things are. I mean, the whole world is changing and it's different because of this one thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, I guess that's how it is when anything big happens, right?
Yeah,
Twin Towers, now crazy security,
yeah,
cause and
it's
effect.
wild.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I read that on the National Geographic. I can only read like 4 articles a month. So it sucks ass
Yeah,
because I want to read all the articles and
I
I'm
thought you were
thinking
gonna
maybe I'll
subscribe.
how much is that though? Like they
Yeah,
say $24.99 and then they're like
Jesus.
$69.99 and it's like but a year maybe. So it's like I don't know. I don't really know because
Yeah,
then I think they have a magazine ones. I don't want no magazines. I just want to be on my little phone or
be able to read the
computer.
articles. Yeah,
Yeah, because really once I get that magazine in my hand or a book in my hand, I'm like go do something on my phone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It's something about having it in like paper form. I think certain things, yeah, I would really enjoy. But when it comes to articles and reading, maybe if they just gave me like the pictures in the magazine, that'd be awesome. Like all the photos. But
Yeah.
aside from that, like reading an article in the
Well,
magazine,
articles
like
in magazines sometimes they're just too fucking long. And I get
yeah.
that some stuff has to be long form in order to explain complex ideas.
Hmm.
But sometimes it's like, okay, at least just give me a thesis in the beginning. I don't want the information that's actually interesting or relevant to be buried somewhere on page 4 of this. Like, who do you think's reading this?
Exactly. Like you need to hook me in from the beginning, honestly. Don't they fucking teach you that in writing?
Right. Yeah.
But truly. Yeah, but it's been interesting. I also one of the other things that I learned this morning, um, I was reading about this new dinosaur species that they found in Argentina. So,
Hmm.
the email that they sent, I think a couple days ago, was all Argentina. So one of the things, which is also very interesting, they found the oldest, I guess, record of bees, like
Okay.
millions of years ago. So the oldest, like, burrows and stuff like that. So there were ancient bees, basically, or not ancient because this is proof of modern bees.
Right.
So, but this was millions of
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
So these have been around forever, basically. And I thought that was very interesting. I didn't read
Hmm.
that article because I didn't want to waste my articles on
Right.
that one, but I do want to read about it, so I might
Right.
just
Exactly.
subscribe. And then there was the one about the dinosaur. And the dinosaur is the largest animal to ever live on Earth. Its femur alone was 8 feet long and about a half a ton. So the estimation that they have
Jeez.
is 69 tons and like 200 something feet long or 100 and something feet long.
I'm
I
guessing
don't
this
know.
was a water animal.
A dinosaur,
Well,
a
yeah, but I'm
land
guessing
animal,
this was on land.
the largest to walk on Earth, the largest animal to ever
Jesus,
walk on Earth. Yeah,
that's
this thing was
crazy.
huge.
200 feet long.
Yeah,
That's
shit
wild.
was crazy. I wonder if it was 200 or 100 and something, but
Either
I
way,
was like,
that's insane.
damn. Yeah, it was so crazy. But yeah, I like dinosaurs. I've always liked dinosaurs, ever since like
They're
second
so
grade
cool.
or whenever you
Yeah.
learn about them. So I love seeing that. And it'd be cool like to actually be a paleontologist. Everyone has that dream when they're, in second
Little
grade and
kid.
learn about it.
Before you
Hmm.
find out how boring that job is.
Yeah. I mean, you're just chipping away at rocks for a long time and you got to be careful. And it sucks, but the work that they do when they do find something is really amazing. And imagine the feeling you must have when you discover something like that, it changes history, like, really. I
Yeah.
mean, or it changes the way we see history because we now know that much more. And like same thing with, mummies and, tombs and all that kind of stuff to me is so fucking interesting. Like, I wish I could have a job like that. And I don't know
Yeah.
how much that pays, but I feel like it might not pay enough for all the shit that they do.
I mean, it's probably like
Yeah.
anything where if you rise to the upper echelon, it probably pays a lot. But
Right.
I'm sure for the majority of people, it's like a grind, like anything
Yeah. But it's amazing. There's a lot of
else.
good documentaries too on like Hulu and mainly Hulu, and Disney Plus has really good documentaries on, ancient tombs, ancient stuff like that, civilizations and stuff. So
That's awesome.
check those out maybe if you ever feel
We'll
like
have
it.
to do that. Yeah, I love documentaries.
Yeah, they're super fun. That's probably the most boring thing I've ever said. But documentaries to
No,
me
they're
are
so
like,
fun.
yeah, I think they're like more interesting than, you know, movies and stuff. I think that's why like I have a hard time staying engaged with movies because it's like I already know. Once upon a time when I was little, I used to get so
Yeah.
sucked into that stuff, but then as soon as I found out this shit is fake, I was like,
Well, you know what
I
it is?
can't
I think.
enjoy anything anymore.
Well, no, I mean, there's some stuff I think that is still good and still
Yeah.
enjoyable, but I think once you feel the formula kick in, then there has to be something more to it to keep you there, where
Yes.
it has something to say. But if it's just the formula with nothing else, it's just straight
Mm-hmm.
up formula. It's like, well, why am I've already seen this movie 1,000 times. Like,
Yes,
you know,
exactly. It's
um,
so predictable. That's what I
I,
feel like watching a
yeah,
movie, watching movies, generally movies, because series are a little more different. There's more time
Well,
for
there's more
development.
character development and like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the 3 arc plot where it's like, okay, now they're gonna come back, and okay, now there's the swell of music, and oh look, the bad guys
Right.
defeated. And you're just like, wow,
Frankie will literally ask me, he's like, have you seen this movie before? I'm like, no, you can just tell what's gonna happen. Like, I
yeah,
mean,
you can
miles
tell from the
away, I'll be
trailer.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, bro. Like, that's why they make all these trailers that are so vague now, and it's like, what the fuck is the movie about?
Well, I
You seen
prefer
those
that
trailers?
because I hate the ones where it's the opposite, where they show you basically the whole movie, and you're like, well, I don't even
Everything.
need to see it anymore.
Yeah.
You showed me the opening shot and the ending shot and a couple of things, and it's like I know what this movie is now. Like,
And
yeah,
the climax, you
I do not
you showed me
understand
all this.
how people, like like people like in their 60s and stuff. I don't understand how they're not completely bored by like pop culture. You know, where it's like I you're still listening to the same songs you've been listening to for 50 years. You're still watching action movies. Like, aren't you bored? Of the same shit over and over and over.
Mhm.
Just like
I don't
I don't
know, but
understand.
then think about the people in their 60s are complaining so much about pop culture.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess people in
That's where
every
OK
generation
Boomer
does, but
came from.
well, no, but like, okay, they complain about new pop culture, but they're still consuming the same
Yeah,
pop
in
culture they
the
were consuming.
shit.
That's what I don't understand. Is how it's like, okay, you find your genre and it's like, oh, this is what I liked when I was young, and then
Yeah.
so you just stick with that forever,
See,
like on
that's
repeat.
what I've thought about that too. Like when I'm older, I know that music is going to change, it's going to
Yeah,
evolve. Am I going to evolve with that music, or am I going to be like, stuck in my music? But then I think about how my mom, like, she was really down with all the new
yeah,
music. She loved Justin Timberlake. There's a lot of, older people that do like
yeah. I think that's the best way to be, to have
some of
like
the
a
shit.
mix of it.
Yeah,
But I don't understand when it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna keep listening to the same, like,
right.
because I'm already starting to get sick of some stuff where it's just like I've heard this album or this band like so many times by now. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. It can get tiring, annoying. C'est la vie. I mean, fucking pop culture will always be there. It just, I do feel like an old person sometimes, though, or
yeah,
like conservative, because I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, when I look at some of like the memes that whatever younger generation, like say my niece's age, I think she's like 16, I think
Uh-huh.
16 or 17. Um, and I see like the memes she would post, I remember, and it's like, what the fuck was that? What am I
Yeah.
watching? Why is that funny? Or like, what am I not getting? It's just like ironic culture, which I understand, but it's to another extent where it's like, and then the
Yeah.
music, it's like, what the fuck is happening? So I feel like an old lady, basically.
Yeah, I feel that. It's crazy how quickly you kind of lose touch with that thing where you're like, oh, I'm not a kid anymore. Because now what the kids are into, I look at and I'm like, the fuck is this? Like,
But then at the same time, you always feel like you're
still a kid.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's wild.
I guess a kid in your own generation, maybe not in the new one.
Yeah, not the
That's
kids
the
today, you know.
right. Listen to us. What the fuck?
God.
Damn. We're rude.
Nah, we're fine.
We're honest. I do wonder though. I always wonder like what's it gonna look like when I have kids? What are they gonna be into? Totally think about that stuff. What kind of like think about how we've already seen so many ideas of movies, right? And
Mm-hmm.
media and whatever.
Well, I
What's the
think
next thing someone's gonna come up with that's gonna be like,
that's
whoa,
what's
this is
interesting.
different?
The difference is what's interesting. What's I feel like going to be depressing and annoying is the stuff that's the same. Um,
Yeah,
and I
true.
feel like the longer you're alive, the more you notice the cycles. Um, so like fashion, you know, I feel like when we were in high school, there was this kind of trend, and it went with the music, but it was like very poppy music, and then the fashion was very bright colors and kind of hipster stuff, and a lot of kind of like ironically soft stuff where it's like, yeah, man, you don't have a cat on your shirt, and
Yeah, like
that's just the
yeah,
80s again.
pastels.
That's just the 80s again. And then now we're in this thing where we've kind of, it's like the edgier, like baggy jeans with holes in them and like hip hop and big extra large Tupac t-shirt, man, because it's the 90s again. And it's just cycles. It's just going,
It
and then
is, yeah.
and I think that's the part that's going to be frustrating as we get older, especially having kids where they're going to think it's all new and you're like, I've seen this 5 times. Like,
Yeah, my mom would say, she goes, "Oh, the 70s are back again." She's like,
right,
"They're making a
exactly.
comeback." And
Yeah,
and even now today, you see that the 70s and 60s fashion is still prominent in our
yeah,
culture, and it's
of
come back
course.
again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is cycles.
But then what is also interesting, like you said, is like, okay, what's gonna be the next thing? Like
Mm-hmm.
what's the new thing that's gonna be? Um, and that's exciting to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
Music, it's hard to pinpoint. I can't, and maybe it's always been like that where we can't imagine what
Yeah.
what the new thing is gonna be. But I don't know where there is left to go because we've gone through okay the instruments and stuff, and now it's all digital. And
It's
where
gonna be
where
it's
is there
gonna
to
be
go now?
sounds. It's gonna be sounds of little tin cans. Fucking metal clashing.
It's gonna
That's
be
gonna be
like
the new music.
what's that musical Stomp where they're just hitting things around the house like
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the trend. I called it. Like
or
so
like
let's
lyrically
remember this in 40 years.
like where is there to go after rap lyrically? Like is it gonna just go back to singing or just stay with singing and rapping, or is there another? I mean, that's really your two options, isn't there? You can talk fast or talk slow. And it was like
Right.
the talk fast movement happened, and now what? uh yeah,
We
it's
talk
interesting.
faster.
Talk even faster.
We all get on Eminem's level. That's a bare minimum someday, watch. We're just not going to be able to understand anybody anymore. These kids these days, I can't even understand what they're saying in their music. That's my grandma. But that's
Well,
also me in like
to be
30
fair,
years.
there's also a lot of music where like the people writing it can't understand what they're saying, like where they're just
Yeah, true.
yeah, yeah, and it's like
I
get to
got
three
it.
minutes and then the next song, and
Yeah, exactly. For sure. It's been a pain in the ass listening to that kind of shit.
I just don't.
I don't either. But like, I mean, my friends, when I hang out with them, not little Frankie, but like, and not Tracy, but like people more my age, when I hang out with people my age, that's what they
Yeah.
listen to.
Yeah.
And that's not a vibe for me.
No.
It's like it's annoying sound at that point, and it's like I'm trying to have a good time and I'm just being annoyed by, like, it's like a mosquito in your ear, it's like,
I feel that.
turn that off, like at least turn it off, bro.
Yeah.
I suck, dude.
No, I definitely I empathize with that. It's hard to find good turn up music because I feel like so much turn up music, you want something that's not too intellectually heavy where you can just relax and party. But then I feel like so much turn up music is so dumb and so mindless and like anti-intellectual that it just becomes annoying.
Right. Bro, if you want turn up music, just throw it back to the early 2000s hip hop and R&B. That was the shit. That is always hype.
But see, then are we just old people now where we're just like, no, you gotta put on some Drake. I got my eyes on you. Listening to that forever. Like Bruno Mars, that's what you kids need.
No, not Bruno Mars. That's early 10s.
That's true. That is more early 10s. Well, I mean, I guess he was around, but that's when he got good because he did the 70s thing. He did.
True.
Funk came back.
Dude, funk is hot though. Like, I love funk so much. Like that bass though. Like, how can you not get groovy? Like, every time I hear a funky song, it's just like you cannot help but move to it. Yeah. Funk was the best thing that ever happened in music. One of the best things. I mean, and it's hard to say that because actually there's so many things that make each genre of music great, but funk was definitely one of those things that hit different.
Except for country. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, if you listen to country, I have no words. I'm speechless. I have a friend who's from California, born and raised here all her life, pretty much. Except she went and lived in like Texas and stuff. This bitch loves country. I was like, when she told me that she loved country, I was like, like, where are you from though? She goes, what do you mean? I was born and raised here. I was like, Californians don't like country like that. At least I never met one that did. So,
well, I'm sure rural California they do, because there are places that are kind of,
honky tonk.
Yeah, exactly. Honky tonk.
What's the
yeah, exactly.
But that said, I do love the song "Honky Cat" by Elton John.
Oh yeah, and there is, I think, some good country.
I like it when it's like
more, there'd be something, like Dolly Parton. She's technically country, right? She has some bangers. Like,
I never heard her music before.
Oh, I'll send you a couple songs.
Okay. I do like bluesy rock, like country blues rock, that kind of vibe. Totally down for that.
Yeah.
I think when you mix it with like rock or like blues and stuff, that sounds really good. But I guess, maybe country did kind of come from blues. Oh yeah. It's crazy too how like music is so impactful for like so many people. It is the universal language. And I think that's cool that, I don't know, when you think about like, Frankie and I were just talking about this morning about, because he was saying something about playing the recorder as, I don't know, like as an ancient like person.
Yeah.
So, because we were talking about the Nahuatl culture, the Aztec culture, the original people of Mexico, the Mexica. And he was saying how, I'd be there playing the recorder or whatever. I'm like, bro, they didn't have wind instruments yet. Okay, we weren't there yet. stupid. I'm like, they had shells, they had things to like. They had
Why is
drums.
every kid? Why are we all taught the recorder in like 5th grade? What the fuck is that? Who decided that, and why is it still happening?
Why? Why? Not a single person needs that
No
in their
one wants.
life.
Yeah, like
And
why that why the recorder?
and no one is a professional recorder player or whatever the fuck. Who? No one. That's not even a real instrument. No offense to all the people that play the recorder out there professionally.
No,
If
no,
you
no.
do that.
Offense to all the professional. If you're a professional recorder player, get out of here. Get your life.
Yeah, get a new career.
That would be the best. That would be the best
pick up
scam
the
though.
flute.
If you could make it work.
Playing the recorder at every fucking 3-year-old's birthday party.
Where's that movie about like the biopic of a recorder player?
Bitch, I bet you if we look it up, they already have one though. But if not, that is fucking genius. Copyright that. TM, whatever. Trademark. I couldn't think about what the TM stood for a second. So I was like TM. Yeah, I figured that out later. Have you been watching anything this week?
A little bit, but just more Sopranos. So,
Michael,
I'm almost done. It's so good.
How many seasons are there?
Well, 6, but season 6 is really long and divided into 2 parts, so it's basically 7.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
It's good though. It's so fascinating.
Interesting.
And it's funny too.
I do. I'll have to pick that up after I finish rewatching Orange is the New Black. I've been on that shit though, but I only watch that when Frankie's around, which is like because I could totally breeze through that whole show. And apparently, I think I only got to season 5 though, so there's a lot of shit that's I missed because there's 7 seasons. But it's a really good show. Frankie's been really hooked into it. You know, it's his first time seeing it, so he's like totally shocked by everything that happens. It's one of those shows where you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And there's like there's
those.
comedy. Yeah, and there's comedy, there's a generous amount of comedy, but it's also really fucking dark. Very fun. But I've been kind of watching that, and honestly, like, haven't even been. Well, I'm gonna take the computer to work today so that I could watch something. Because awesome. I get bored, you know, and if it's not busy, usually Sundays and Mondays aren't that busy at all. So I can just kind of sit there and like watch some shows on the laptop, you know. But I always forget it. I usually forget the laptop, and I'm just sitting there bored on my phone, like in this tiny little screen watching a whole ass show or something. It's disappointing. Yeah. Sucks.
Oh, did you get? I shared a couple of Google Docs with you.
Oh yeah, I haven't opened them up yet.
You got to check them out. Some good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, because there were a couple of the things we were talking about last time on there, right? What you said?
Yeah, I sent you Sun Tzu, Art of War, Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching. And the Tao Te Ching is a really quick read, and you're gonna read that and be like, yep, like it's all just
makes sense.
It'll click, yeah. And then Siddhartha is probably the longest one, but it's really good, and that's the one that's the story about like the kind of Buddha adjacent character. It's really cool.
Nice, cool. Yeah, I should read that today at work.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll read at least one. And then I'll probably watch a documentary.
Nice.
Swear. I don't know why I'd be shoving all this shit in my brain. I can't even remember most of it. Isn't that annoying? Like, you know, you want to learn stuff, but it's like, why can't I remember this? Like, just the specifics of things get away. It's like, but at the time it was so interesting and I absorbed it fully.
Well, yeah, it's like erosion. You know?
Yeah.
Wave comes in, wave comes out, leaves a little bit of water. Wave comes in, wave comes out. It's kind of like that. And so you just gotta when you're feeding your head, you just gotta feed it over and over and over before
True.
stuff actually starts to really sink in.
I guess too, that's like the good thing though is that I have a sense of like, certain situations and like certain subjects, and I can always go back to it to like, you know, read up on it again or like be like,
Exactly.
okay, what was that thing again? But
Yeah, and I think that's something I've been trying to realize because, like, okay, when you learn a song, when you learn like song lyrics, and you get to know a song really well, you don't sit down with a pen and paper the first time you hear it and try to let me get
yeah,
it. What did they say? Let me rewind. Like, you don't do it like that. You just listen to it a lot, and over time,
that's true.
you absorb it. And so I've been trying to think of learning like that as well as fun stuff. So I just relax, absorb what I absorb. Let me listen to that again, or read that again, or whatever. Um, I think it works better that way rather than
Yeah,
trying to like I'm gonna cram it all in and then I'll be done. It's like no, it doesn't work.
doesn't stick like that. See,
Yeah,
that's the thing too. Like, how many songs do I fucking know in my head?
right.
And everything else, it's like, why can't I remember my keys sometimes? Like, what the fuck? It doesn't make sense.
Oh, speaking of that, do you have a fuck up of the week this week?
I feel like I do, but I don't remember what it is.
That's why you gotta write shit down. I have a really good fuck up of the week though.
No. Okay, okay.
I did my laundry with a pair of headphones in my pants pocket. So now I don't have
Oh.
those.
Oh, you know what? On Amazon, there's some good, cheap $20 Bluetooth headphones, good quality, fit in everyone's ear. My boss got them. They start with like a Z, I think. Um, I'll try to look it up too, because I might want
I'll
to
have to
save
check
it
that
for
out.
my laters too. Yeah, and I'll send you the link. Did you get the link of the ring light that I sent you?
Oh yeah, I haven't done done it yet, but I did get it though. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Save it for your laters.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's see my fuck up of the week. Um, not getting my oil changed
Oh no,
because
did your car break down?
my no. I mean, my light is on, but it's like I've been saying for the past 2 or 3 weeks that I'm gonna get my oil changed. I haven't got my oil changed. Actually, it's probably been like 2 or 3 months. Now that I really think about it, it's been months. I've been saying that I'm gonna get my
Yeah,
oil changed. And then the light turns off, so I'm like, I'm fine. And then it turns back on in a couple days and it
yeah.
stays on for like weeks at a time.
You gotta get
But
your oil changed.
I have to do that. Um, I'm thinking on Tuesday. Tuesday I have like kind of, it's my day off Tuesday, Wednesday. So I have like a full schedule like of cooking, cleaning, taking
Yeah,
Katana to the dog park, getting my oil changed, like getting a walk in, hopefully, some
yeah.
physical shit in. So I'm not so
That's
stiff.
like that's kind of my next problem solving thing when I get back to LA. So first thing, when I get back, I gotta get my license, which that's no
Mm-hmm.
problem because I passed the written test already. All I have to do is do the driving test now. Um, but then I gotta get a car. I realize that's the first step to solving most of my problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, okay, I need to be making more money. How do I do that? I need to get a job. I need to have multiple jobs. I need to be able to go around places a lot. Um, and it's just you lose so much time on public transportation, as well as just the hassle. So
Right.
that's the
Dude,
next thing.
honestly, a hotel job is not bad when it
No, I
comes
bet
to
not.
like pay and full time and being able to pay your bills and save money.
Yeah.
Um, I one of my coworkers, he's looking for another job closer to where he lives because he moved out like an hour and a half away from the hotel location.
Uh
And
huh.
he was still over here thinking that he was gonna be able. He's like, no, I love driving. I'm gonna do. And I was telling him before he moved out, I was like, no, dude, you're gonna last a few months. You're gonna look for a job near your house. And he goes,
Honestly,
nah, I'm
I've been
comfortable.
thinking about it though, and now that might be the move. Like, and I'm so used to spending like, and again, like obviously having a car, you want to cut down on time, but I'm used to spending like easily like 2, 3, 4 hours a day on a bus in order to get to work and school and all that kind of stuff. So an hour commute in the car, whatever. Like,
You think that now.
isn't it
You
cheaper
think that.
like an hour outside LA though to live?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to work inside of LA either.
That's true.
There are plenty of jobs nearby. I
That's
mean,
true.
so, and that's the thing. Like, I told him, I'm like, it sounds fine now. And I'm like, but by the time you start doing it, it's going to tire your ass
Yeah, it
because
becomes a grind.
it does. And driving itself is very tiring. Like, you
That's
don't
true.
even notice it because it's mentally exhausting. You don't even notice it. But, um, yeah, like Frankie, he drives all day doing Amazon and then he's pooped by the time he
Exhausted.
comes
Yeah,
home.
that's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's always possible to look for work close by, but he found an interview with some hotel job nearby his place that pays like really well, like $16 an hour or something.
Oh wow.
Full
You
time.
know what I was thinking about? Real estate. It takes like you take a 6 month course, you can get approved. You don't need a degree, nothing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I know people that have done really well inside of like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You're
part of
good
me
at
worried,
sales?
huh?
Would you be good at sales?
Well, it's with real estate sales. It's kind of, I mean, it's just personality driven. So it's just the game, which I think will be a fun game
Mm-hmm.
psychologically, because you're reading people and you're going like, okay, what does this person want? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I think that would be interesting. But yeah, it's just social, and I think a job like that would be more interesting than one that doesn't have that social component. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can make hella money, and it's like relatively low effort and low skill.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've been thinking about it. And I'm like, why not do something like that? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but part of me also does worry that that's more of a career. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be. It can be a job, but I feel like that's more of
Right.
a career than like a job. Um, and I do kind of worry about getting stuck in something like that and just being like, well, I'm making money, so I guess I'll keep doing this. And then 20 years goes by, and what'd you do with your life? Oh, I flipped houses. You know?
But I made a lot of money, bitch, and now I'm sitting in my hot tub.
Yeah, but I don't know. And like, yeah, I do want to make money because I'm sick of not being able to solve problems for myself and my family. But also, like, is that all we're doing? You know, like
But
you
no,
want
but
something
when
more out of life too. You
look,
know?
when people make a lot of money, they have more time for some reason to do the things that they love.
Not necessarily. Not if you're spending
Not
all
in
your
real
time
estate.
making money. You know? I don't know. I think some
Well,
people, like I've heard people have been able to make real estate a good side gig, and that would be ideal.
right.
Um, but if it becomes like full time, where you're one of those people where you're always working because that's how you make all your money, then what's the point? You're just making money to
Well,
continue making money.
but not just that. Okay, so but you got to think about the people that are doing that. They want more money.
Right.
That's why they're working so much, you know?
Yeah.
If you are like, hey, I'm happy with making this much a month and being able to go out and do this with my friends and family, go out and do this, go spend some money here, you can do that. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to make it all just work. It's the people that do make it all just work that are living that way and choose to live that way. You know what I mean? You can
That's
still
true.
make time for your things. You don't have to have all the money to do that. You just
I
need
guess
some money.
if you can live with less, then
Right.
when you don't have to, you'll be able to live better. You know,
Like, do you need a 3-bedroom apartment by yourself?
no.
No. Could you afford it?
Do I
Maybe,
ever
but
care what kind of car I drive? No, I don't give a fuck.
exactly.
Like
So you're not
none
going
of
to
that
be the
stuff.
kind of person to take it that far, I don't think.
True.
You know, I think you would have a limit of, okay, this is enough. Let me move on to the next thing, or let me make less time for this, more time for something else.
True. True.
It's all about the balance, remember.
Mm.
It's what do they say? It's the dose that's the poison or something like that. The
Yeah,
dose decides the poison. There you go.
it's a good way of thinking about it.
But in the meantime,
Car.
job.
Yeah.
Well, job.
I talked to the my boss at the dance studio, and
Mhm.
it's probably going to be, I'll probably have more work in the summer than when I first get back to LA. May
Mhm.
is going to be kind of light probably, but I'll be around for subbing and stuff, and that'll be good. And that job is very fulfilling,
Mhm.
and also because it's teaching, kids are in school all day, so it's always kind of somewhat part time, which is good because then it leaves you time to do other things.
Right.
Um, yeah, and then I also want to start doing the stagehand stuff again, which is fun and it's good work, and you know, but yeah, I'm excited though to get back into the world doing stuff,
Yeah.
try and
Be
make some scratch.
a little more normal,
Yeah,
normal life.
100%.
Money's crazy though.
Yeah.
Fucking money. It's like you just need it to just be comfortable in life, and it sucks that that's even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Like my
have to earn
grandma's
your
like,
comfort.
yeah, exactly. Well, and even beyond comfort, like my grandma is getting older now, and it's getting to that point where it's like the problems are starting and it's not bad yet, but how long do we have before all of a sudden this starts just sucking up resources? Um,
Right.
and that's what I'm kind of trying to prepare for, where it's like, okay, I need to be able to step up. Um, and it's like, just I have no resources right now, and it's
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. It's being able to solve problems more than more than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it could help with a lot of things, but sometimes you have to notice to the point where you're at in your life. It's just like, I can't do this yet, you
Yeah,
know, which sucks. Sucks.
yeah,
But I don't know. I think about like, okay, so what's the next thing I'm gonna do? I'm really like comfortable and cozy, and I'm
yeah.
vibing right now. So
That's good.
I'm like, well, I do want to go, back to school and stuff. So I still have to fucking call that school.
Yeah,
But it's like my days off, I don't want to deal with it. And then the days that I work, I don't want to deal with it either because I'm
yeah,
working.
exactly. That's the problem, is that, and then just like time just passes you by. It's just fuck. And that's
You're like,
kind of,
I'm tired.
it's a difficult balance to hit, because I think it's good to love yourself as you are, to be happy where you are, but also it's good to progress and to grow and to
Yeah.
change and to improve yourself and your situation. Finding
Hmm.
that balance is really shaky.
Yeah.
Um,
100%. Yeah. But that's why I'm thinking, I'm like, well, I'm finally at a point in my life where I can just kind of hang out. Whereas the rest of my life, I was just really just scraping by, like with all my
yeah,
nails, just trying to make it somewhere where I can rest. It's like
yeah,
climbing a mountain and finally finding your plateau
yeah,
and having a drink of water and chilling out for a minute. So that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of chilling out for a second. But like you said, like I do want to do things. I want to see things. I want to learn things and all
yeah,
these things. So it's like in order to do that, you have to keep growing and going.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm comfies. Also, I just had a random thought about how my left middle toe has been hurting.
That's
I
so
think
specific.
I know it's the middle joint. Honestly, I think it's arthritis. But
Oh,
it's so weird because nothing happened to it. I didn't hit my toe or anything. My shoes have been the same, you know.
mhm.
I'm thinking about getting new shoes anyway though, because it's time.
Yeah,
Um, and then I just like was bending my toes the other day for whatever reason. And I was like, ow, this shit hurts. And it feels like, it almost needs to crack or like it's stuck.
yeah,
But yeah, I've been doing that and and it just reminds me how it hurts. And then it makes me sad because I'm like, I love to dance and stuff, but like physically,
Yeah.
my body doesn't like to do it anymore, My body said, no, bitch, we don't work like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. And I've been thinking about recently getting back into dancing and like taking classes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But really it just like it just kind of scares me how much pain I'm gonna have to go through in order to do that.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I can, yeah, absolutely, it makes sense. I can totally empathize with that. And in a way, it's like it's both a cross to bear, and it's also kind of it's a good thing. It's brought our awareness to something different. Like for instance, okay, so the first marker of existence or characteristic of existence defined by the Buddha is life is suffering. And it's funny, in one of my philosophy classes, a lot of the kids are like, I don't know if I agree with that. And I'm like, that's because your body doesn't hate you. Once you, if you like the idea of all sensation being pain seems foreign if your body's functioning properly all the time. Because when your body's functioning properly, you're not aware of it, but when it's not functioning properly, then you have constant aware. When it's not
you in your
functioning,
real estate mind.
when your real estate is not working, when your location just isn't serving you well, then you have constant awareness of it, and I feel like it's easier to realize, like, oh, that's what this is. Yeah, having a body is bullshit.
For sure.
And I think most people are lucky, or a lot of people are lucky enough that they don't realize that till they get older and their bodies start breaking down. But if your body's already fighting you when you're young, you're like, shit.
Yeah, dude, for real though. You're just preaching to the choir. Like, it's really, dude, those words hit different. Like, it's
I'm like,
true.
I want
don't
to dance.
know.
And my body's like, fuck yourself.
Literally. And it's true. Like, I've definitely just cried because I just think about how much pain I'm in. And like, when you put your attention on it and you like really absorb it, you're like, I'm 23 and I hurt all the time and it doesn't make any sense. Everything hurts all the time. And it's so frustrating because I literally don't have a moment where I'm not aware of my body,
Yes.
like feeling totally relaxed, not in pain. And that does something to your like mind, that's why I think I had so much anxiety.
Yeah.
Because of, just this constant awareness of I hurt all the time. Yeah. And it's always there. It's always in your brain. You can't put it away because your body always hurts.
Yeah. And it's not really comparable because hopefully my next situation is temporary. But it's been a year now where I've experienced that, where it's like,
exactly,
it's either straight up pain or at the very least, it's the awareness in my head of like, we're off and you want to fix it. Mm-hmm. You want to get back in line. I can feel that my left shoulder is a little too high compared to my right one, and that it all needs to be torqued that way, and that my neck needs to be back that way. And so at the low end of the spectrum, it's like an uncomfortable, like you want to just fix it and you can't. And then at the other end of the spectrum, it's just straight up pain, and it's like, and the only relief that there is basically distracting yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy. And it sucks. And I totally like, I can't imagine what it's like with the, way worse pains that you're dealing with your arthritis and all that stuff. But then I guess at the same time, in a fucked up way, we have to be grateful for it because it's a useful metaphor for understanding what life is.
Right. It's true. It is true.
But that being said, now that we've seen that metaphor, if it could fuck off, please, that would be
great. Please, thanks.
I got it. I got the hint.
Just want to live a normal life and whatnot.
Yeah. Fuck. On that note, as things open up, assuming that the B117 variant doesn't kill us all, we have to start looking into getting your treatment.
Yeah.
Going to India if that's what it takes or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what legal avenues are available because that stuff all confuses the shit out of me. Um, but I guess that's something we can look into as well.
Yeah. It's time to start doing homework.
Yeah.
I gotta like it's just getting a plan in the first place, knowing where to go because there's so like you said, there's so many different avenues. So
Yeah, it's the
knowing where to go
information.
with that.
It's finding the information is difficult because for their so either whether we're looking at, um fuck, why am I blanking on this word? It's something litigation. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So if we're looking at litigation where we're basically suing an insurance company or something for to get it that way, then that's one avenue, and then the other avenue is medical tourism, either to India or somewhere else. And for both of those avenues, you start Googling and you're just met with an overwhelming amount of different information from different sources. And all of it
Right.
is using terminology and stuff you can't understand. And you don't know which source to trust.
Yeah.
Very confusing. The
Period.
internet's a
That's
mind
what
fuck.
see, that's why it's been like all these years it's been so discouraging because it just ends up like that every time, like a
Yeah.
mess. And it's like, what is even happening? And at that point you're just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
It's so overwhelming. Like, why do I don't even want to deal with this.
And I think in the
So
past it was like a different problem where it was just, oh, I have no access to information. And now we have
now
like
it's too
the opposite
much.
problem. There's too much where it's like I'm sifting through this and I don't know. Well, this website seems cool. Oh no, but here this website says that other website is a pile of shit. Well, fuck, now who do I? And so you're just sifting through
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like it's really difficult. But despite all that, I think we both got to put in the time to try and do that. Because it is a solvable problem. I mean, somewhere in this great pile of shit, there's the needle that in the haystack, in the shitty haystack that we need.
The needle that works for me, maybe.
Right, exactly.
Now I sound like a heroin addict. Great. Damn.
I was talking to my friend's dad this morning, and I was just bitching about my neck problems because I woke up sore. He was like, "You should try
Mhm.
opium." I'm like, that's not a good
No.
recommendation. No.
See, that's the thing I was thinking about yesterday too, is like I really don't want to touch pain meds. And
No.
what can the doctors do for me? Nothing except for
Pain meds are
prescribe
not
me
effective
pain
for they're not
medication and I
effective for
don't
chronic
want it.
pain. Yeah. It doesn't solve the
Exactly.
problem. It just takes your mind off it. And I'm like, that's a temporary solution. That's not a
And
good
that's
idea, dude.
literally leading to addiction. I mean,
Yeah.
most of
That's why it's an
firstly,
epidemic.
yes, I mean, doctors are overprescribing pain medications because they don't want to deal with some people.
Yeah.
And that's why we have so many people that are hooked on opium. And it's sad.
Yeah,
But
100%.
but then, and I was telling Frankie, I was like, I understand, like, being in this much pain all the time, you could totally understand why someone would just be like, well, fuck it. Just fucking prescribe me those pills, like I just don't want to be feeling this anymore. I don't want to think about it or whatever. So, I mean, it's understanding in that sense, but it's like,
Sure.
why
Well, it's
should
understandable
anyone have to be
why.
pushed like that?
Yeah, it's understandable why the patient wants that.
Right.
Because when you're dealing with something, you just want instant relief.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the doctor side of it, it's like, yo, that's not your job. Is to fix the problem. If all you're doing is getting my mind off the problem, that's not what we're really here for.
It's not your job.
Yeah, like I remember
Mm-hmm.
I watched this show Deadwood. That's a show you'd really like, and that's only 2 seasons. So it's easier to catch up on. But it's on HBO, and it's about this town in like the late 1800s. It's kind of cowboy western shit, but it's
Oh,
not
it's
like formula,
lawless.
sort of, but it's not formulaic like that. And one of the things that there's a part where a doctor is doing this fucked up surgery, and the doctor is like one of the best characters in the show because everything he deals with in that time, you just look at medicine and it's like such a crapshoot. He's doing this fucked up surgery, and this guy's like, "Your hands are shaking. Do you want a shot of whiskey?" And he says, "No, the whiskey is not going to steady my hand. All the whiskey's going to do is make me care less about the steadiness of my hand." And
Mm.
I remember I think of that every time I think about something like painkillers or that kind of
True.
solution where it's like, yeah, it's not actually steadying your hand. It's just making you care less about your hand's steadiness.
Right. True. And that's wild. Well, hopefully I'll figure it out someday. I was thinking, Groupon, try some acupuncture, massage, some CBD bath bombs or something. I've been taking baths and throwing
Yeah, and I think
Epsom
all that
salt in
stuff.
that shit.
Yeah, as long as you're not going to something crazy like painkillers or whatever, then relief is good.
Right. Exactly.
In the meantime, but yeah, ultimately, it's like we gotta figure it out. I asked a friend about that, and he sent me this thing. It was like, I don't know. I'm into the whole spiritual thing, but it was some bullshit where it was like, oh yeah, if you get this this gem or whatever, it heals all your stuff. I'm like, go fuck yourself. That's not. Get out of here. All that. This pendant's gonna take away your hepatitis. No, it's fucking not.
Definitely not. No. Yeah, there's a fine line between that kind of stuff. I believe in the energy that maybe
Sure.
a rock holds or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's not going to cure shit.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
extra energy.
exactly. It's and that's my problem with like the idea of magical things or divination with regard to spirituality. I believe in the spiritual side of it, of the universe. I'm very suspicious of the idea that we as humans can manipulate it for our own ends. That seems like wishful thinking, and that seems like you're selling me something.
Well, they always have that the whole manifestation thing.
Yeah.
People talk about that a lot too, but it's like you just got to realize it's your own bias. Like,
yeah,
because true, I'm also, very spiritual. I think about things very open-mindedly, but I'm also thinking about our psychology as humans, the both come into play, and you have to really take into consideration both sides. And people get
100%.
carried away. People get carried away with those views and stuff, and it just becomes a little ridiculous and I don't know, a little hokey. I don't know.
Yeah.
A little hocus pocus moment.
A little hocus pocus.
Love me a hocus pocus. Love that movie.
All right, you wanna go out on something fun?
I'm scared. Okay, go.
All right. Would you rather
Oh shit.
be covered in fur or scales?
No. Firstly, I'm already covered in fur, so because I'm
well, like a lot of fur, like all fur,
like on my face too.
Like,
or
well,
scales?
I guess like everywhere, or scales.
Oh, the chafing. Wait, fish scales or like lizard scales?
I think like I was thinking like reptile scales.
Okay, me too. Okay. Ooh, fur or scale? Fur? Is it like soft fur?
Well, I guess yeah. If it's long, then it would be soft, wouldn't it?
I guess. I want to say fur. I want to say fur because of the softness, but I don't want to be hairy. But I mean, is everybody else furry too? No.
That's a very good point. Well, I think both would have some problems though. If nobody else is, then either way you're fucked. If you're scaly or furry.
I think furry would probably be better.
I think furry would be good. Yeah, I'm always cold anyway, so
it's cuddly. Yeah.
Cuddly, yeah. Like I guess and that's more like what we are,
Oh, but like think about the summer.
Oh, true. But I guess it didn't say that you couldn't do this. I guess you could shave in the summer. But
think about the ingrown hairs.
Oh, true.
There's so much to think about. This is why I can't do Would You Rather. I have all I love questions. Them. They're so all fun. The scenarios.
They're so fun. They're so wild.
Funny.
All right, so that's fur all around.
Fur. Do you have another one?
Okay. Okay. Would you rather go back to age 5 with all that you know now?
Oh.
Or would you rather know now everything your future self will learn?
I'd rather know now everything my future self has. I don't want to fucking go back in time. Fuck that shit. Okay, I've already done 23 years. Fuck that.
I feel the opposite.
I don't want to redo anything.
That's an interesting answer. maybe I'm just more full of regret. I feel like that'll be awesome to go back at age 5 and know all I know now. But also, I feel like the danger of that is I might be overvaluing what I know now, and how applicable it would be to the past.
Oh, true. That's funny.
All
Yeah,
right.
definitely. Definitely the other way around for me.
Well,
I'm like, let's get this shit over
let's
with.
get this shit over with. Let's go.
I mean, but think about like being the age you are now, knowing what you're gonna know, from till the day you die or something.
Yeah,
That's powerful.
that's
You can do a
That's
lot.
a lot. Yeah.
You can do a lot with your life there.
But think about being like a little kid and having grown up knowledge. Dude, I'd be running that playground.
True, but I feel like I'd also turn into an asshole.
That's true.
Because I'm like, I already know
All this shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know up until I'm 23.
Yeah.
So
You're in high school, you're like the only not insecure one. You're like, bitch, whatever. Like
exactly. Like everyone would fucking hate us.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man. It's a good question. I like that one.
Yeah, they're fun.
It's a good one. Do you have another one?
No, that's all I got. I only got 2. I'll bring more next time.
Yeah, okay. That works. So who's your guru for this week?
My guru to you for this week is Christina Pajitsky. She's a stand-up comedian, and her husband Tom Segura have a bunch of podcasts. And she's just really funny. She's really into psychology and philosophy, and she's big into now. In some areas she goes a little conservative for me, but I understand kind of why. And she has a big focus on resilience, and I kind of like that. And she's just always got good advice about resilience and about and also then about like relationship stuff. There'll always be funny things where she does this podcast with Dr. Drew where they're a lot of what they do is analyze like the behavior of especially like young men. And when you hear things like that on a macro level where you go like, oh, everyone else is that dumb too, I thought it was just me, and you go like, then you start to understand your behaviors more and then figure out how to change them. Which I think is interesting. What about you?
Super cool. Actually, so the other day I was thinking about, I think it was yesterday, I was thinking about someone that was in my family who passed away a while back, quite a few years back. And I called him Papa John. I think I was the only person that called him Papa John because, I do that like for Mama Michelle, my mom, and then Papa John. That just means that I guess that's my version of that person being like guru and a saint in a sense. But he was I didn't really know him too well. I only met him when we went to New York for when I went to dance or whatever. And we stayed with my aunt, or it's my mom's cousin, and her husband was this man named John. And he was so cool. Like I remember when I met him, I was like, holy crap, like he was this older man that was just so serene. It seemed like he was just so peaceful and calm and understanding and listened, and everyone just adored him. And when you met him, you just felt that you were just so like, I guess, accepted in his presence, just the moment that you met him, you just felt like so comfortable. And I think that was really amazing. And he was just so kind and gentle. And I think, I don't know, he popped into my brain, and
that's a perfect
and
pick.
I thought,
that's so good.
Yeah, I'm like, that's definitely someone that's just holy for me, I guess, in a sense, of the way they were. So yeah,
I love that.
Papa John.
Papa John.
Yeah, he was cool.
Not the racist one who makes the bad pizza.
No, oh no. Not that guy. God. But I guess, yeah, that the papa mama, like in my brain, is definitely someone that's, more
Yeah.
of that figure of, a whole being. Yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, very cool.
I love that.
Yeah. Now I have to pick one for next week. Oh. How am I gonna top that? Oh Lord. I'll read something. I'll find something.
Yay.
Fuck reading. No.
I have to learn things.
Oh no. I'd rather just watch a movie about it. Definitely not. What was this other documentary I was thinking about watching? Oh, Seaspiracy, they said is good. So I need to check that one out.
Oh, yeah.
Any kind of like low key conspiracy things I can kind of watch, but if it
It's the
gets too
best.
fucking crazy, I'm like, turn that shit
Yeah.
off. This is some bonkers stuff I don't need to be listening to. Because you can make anything a conspiracy, if you think hard enough.
Yeah, it's kind
Oh,
of a big problem.
firstly, have you, speaking of conspiracies, and the biggest conspiracy of all, the American government, have you, what?
I gotta go.
Oh, you gotta go?
I've been
Oh,
trying to
babies.
guide us to a soft landing for a while.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. Wait, what conspiracy is it though? You can real quick.
Well, I was gonna ask if you have been researching on any of the Biden shit.
No, I will do that for next time. Okay, bye.
Okay, good. Yeah, good, because I didn't know shit. So like I
I
was
still don't know
asking if
shit.
you knew. And okay, good. We don't know shit.
We don't know shit. We don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll have an idea by next week. All right.
All right. Be good. Don't be too crazy, and I'll text you later.